The Eagles' 53-man roster is complete, but it's not complete. Howie Roseman, next level thinking. We're going to break it all down. Phillies drop another one to the Mets. Damn, 2 straight? Is tonight must win now? Phillies, Eagles, trending in the AM. We are live talking it all and more. 30 seconds. And a very good morning, everybody. Welcome to Trending in the AM right here on the STT Sports Network. Please, wherever you're watching, hit that like button. Please, wherever you're watching, hit that share button. Of course, subscribe to the STT Sports Network YouTube page starting today at 602. The march to 1,000 continues, but we grow this channel by hitting those buttons and voting on today's YouTube poll question. Is tonight's Phillies game must win? We're going to get into it. Yes, no, who cares they suck, or who cares? They will be champs. Make sure you do that, guys. Tell everyone to turn the dial off. Turn Trending in the AM on the YouTube channel up here every single day. Would greatly, greatly appreciate it. We got lots to get into today. Eagles' 53-man roster is set for now. They practice at 2:30, but the waiver wire will happen before then. So, there's going to be more changes to this roster. The practice squad will be filled out today. So much to change, but we will break down the initial 53 and the creativity that Howie used to find out how to get the best possible roster put together. So we got lots to get to there. Phillies lose last night in the 9th inning to the Mets 6-5. Jhoan Duran, another not so good outing, but the whole game, there were issues throughout. Jesus Luzardo, not his best stuff last night. Is tonight's Phillies game must win? That's the poll question of the day. You don't want to get swept by the Mets. You got to stop this momentum. So I ask you, I know there's 31 games left. Let me double check that. Yeah, 30 games left in the season, so a lot can happen. Is tonight must win? That's the poll question, guys. So let's get right to the comments. This is from last night. Good morning, Nooms. LMFGM, parabolic mic error. I don't know. Good morning. How are you? I try to get all those letters out there. Good morning, little G. Hope you are well today. It's your boy. Good morning. Everybody's in the house tonight. Little G. Eagles practice squads. That's next. And Adam's in the house early. Good morning to Adam. And Steven Fuentes. What's up, my bro? How you doing? Good. By what week is Bennett become the full-time cornerback too? Pretty soon. I think Bennett will be your starter by week 3, week 4. Obviously, Adoree Jackson and Kelee Ringo made the final 53-man roster. I don't think the Eagles are happy with that situation there. I think they hope that Bennett or Mac McWilliams can win that job, can steal that job eventually. But week 1 against Dallas, week 1 of the NFL season, they're going to go with the known entity of who they've got. They're going to go with the experience on their roster. And that'll be Kelee Ringo. I still stand firm by what I said yesterday, that Kelee Ringo will start week 1. Now, whether he saves it or not, we'll find out. Good morning, Rick. It's a glorious time to be a Philadelphia sports fan. It is, absolutely. We're about to embark on defending our Super Bowl championship. The Phillies are in first place still. Of course, it's beautiful. It's glorious. It's nice, low 70-degree temperature and sunny every day outside. Glorious. Hold on. Wasn't there a wrestler that had a glorious in there? I'm thinking of a wrestler. Glorious. It's glorious. Something like that. Love it, Rick. Good morning. Super tough guy. Yes, Eli Ricks gone. Mekhi Becton is not part of the Eagles, so I don't know what's going on with Mekhi Becton. All right, let's talk this Eagles roster. So 53-man roster. Offensively, there wasn't much to happen. We knew who was going to make the roster for the most part. Ainias Smith getting cut, little bit of a shock there. I didn't actually personally think he was worthy of making the roster, but I know a lot of people did, and the Eagles liked him. Darius Cooper got a roster spot. Congratulations to Darius Cooper. But they went with 11 offensive linemen, keeping Cam Williams. I guess they were a little concerned that Cameron Williams would not clear waivers. And yes, who's the long snapper? So this is where Howie Roseman's next level thinking. Charlie Hewlett is still the long snapper of the Eagles, Rick. They wanted to protect Cam Williams, so what they do is, I've never heard of a team doing this before, but this is Howie Roseman, next level thinking. You cut Charlie Hewlett, you put him on the practice squad. You can elevate guys from the practice squad multiple times, so you're not wasting a roster spot on the long snapper for the first 2 weeks of the season. That's next level thinking. They've already got an agreement with Charlie Hewlett. You're our guy, but we're going to manipulate this a little bit, okay? You're going to go in the practice squad. We'll call you up, and then after week 2's game, we'll make a roster adjustment and drop someone off the roster and then sign you long term. It's like literally the best big picture thinking of Howie Roseman saying, you wanted to keep all 5'11" offensive linemen. You didn't want to risk Cam Williams. So this is what you do. It's great. I mean, honestly, the long snapper, the kicker, the punter shouldn't count towards the 53-man roster anyway because they're specialists, so to speak. But, man, think about that. Howie Roseman figured out a way around wasting a roster spot on a long snapper. Something special there with that. Is Dejean the next Dejean and Darryl Green playing 100% defense? That is the Ainias Smith cut, the Ainias Smith waiving, does bring into question who is going to be the punt returner. Because not only did Ainias Smith get waived, so did Avery Williams, the return specialist we signed in free agency. And I do not want Cooper Dejean returning punts. Vic Fangio does not want Cooper Dejean returning punts. But on the flip side, Cooper Dejean is very good at returning punts. Cooper Dejean is your best option at returning punts. So it's very difficult to kind of figure out who's going to do it. I guess Jahan Dotson could do it. I think he's done it in the past. Kick return, you got some options there, but Cooper Dejean, Jahan Dotson, has Darius Cooper or John Mechie ever done it? I don't know. Sometimes cornerbacks can. Can Mac McWilliams do it? Maybe. I don't know. I'm going to throw another curveball for the punt return. Our old friend Britton Covey was waived by the Rams. What about Britton Covey on our practice squad? And then the next comment down at the bottom, I see you're saying exactly what I'm saying. You elevate him for 2 weeks and you figure it out from there. It's just a theory. It might work. Ringo mid, yeah, I mean, he might be. But the Eagles are still going to go with what they know at this point. Yeah, I mean, I don't think the Britton Covey, there were a couple former Eagles cut yesterday that I'm really intrigued to see if they bring back in some form or capacity, or at least inquire about. Britton Covey, practice squad would be one of them, just for the punt return. Because if it's not him, I don't know enough about Darius Cooper's history to know if he did it in college. Jahan Dotson, I know's done it. John Mechie seems to have the body type of someone that's probably done it. Skinny, fast, wide receiver. I'm not sure who else has done it in the past. But that's just one of those big spreads. I mean, they might decide to bring Ainias Smith back to the practice squad and elevate him to do it. I think Ainias Smith needs to go elsewhere. I think Ainias Smith, change of scenery would be perfect for him. But maybe Ainias Smith's the guy. Good morning, Jonathan. How you doing today? Our wide receiver room is very good. Now have guys that can step in if injuries to AJ and Devontae. Do not bring back Covey. No, please, too puny. All right, no Britton Covey then, Jonathan. Okay, that's fine. So who's your answer to who's going to return punts for the Philadelphia Eagles week 1 against Dallas? Because I do not want, it's weird because I do not want Cooper Dejean doing it. But right now, Cooper Dejean's probably your best option. And he's very good at the job. So that was another interesting thing there. the development of the wide receiver room and whatnot. And look, the Eagles practice today at 2:30. All the waiver wire stuff will be done by then. You'll have some guys that were waived still in the house because they'll be added to the practice squad. Even waiver wire wise, we're number 32 on the waiver list. So we're not going to get first pick on any of these cut players today. So it'll be interesting to see how that, all plays out. TMJ wrecked who? What? Huh? But it'd be very interesting to see how that plays out. Two other Eagles that were cut yesterday. One I'm kind of intrigued with more than the other. Jalen Mills, the Green Goblin, and Marcus Epps was cut by the Patriots. Now you've got Reed Blankenship locked as a starter. You got Sidney Brown, probably will be the starter week 1. You got Drew Makuba, who's been banged up, battling a hammy injury. And we'll learn more about Drew Makuba and A.J. Brown's hammies today when they practice. Well, if they practice today as they get set for the season, this is not training camp practice. This is regular season practices now. We'll learn more about them today. But if Drew Makuba can't go week 1, obviously they didn't want to put him on IR yet. Do they bring in someone like Marcus Epps as a depth safety position over Tristan McCollum? I don't know. It's something to throw out there. Shipley for the kick returning for sure. I'm not sure about Shipley, the punt returner. I don't think I remember him doing it yet last year or in preseason at all. We saw Shipley and A.J. Brown, or not A.J. Brown, Shipley or A.J. Dillon returning kicks in preseason games and practice a lot. Mechie, if he's done it before, I'm perfectly fine. Perfectly fine with that. Citi Field, House of Horrors. That's 9 losses in a row, folks. God damn. The Phillies, man. I remember voting on a poll like a week ago, some other channel's poll. Who would you be most fearful of playing in October? And I want to change my vote to the New York Mets just because of Citi Field. Like, it's bad. And now you've put a situation where tonight is a must-win game for the Philadelphia Phillies. Must win because the Phillies cannot get swept by the Mets. That is a momentum crusher for the Phillies. It's a momentum massive builder for the Mets. It's tough. It's a tough one. It's a tough one not to overreact to the last 2 nights because everything that could go wrong did go wrong. And they're still the best. They got a great record. They're still in first place. All the positive things we could say about the Phillies, I get it. But it's very hard to not be concerned about the fact that we may have to face this Mets team come October. Good morning, Duck. How you doing today? Hope you are well. Phil don't like Terrence Marshall. I love Terrence Marshall. And just so you know, there's no N in Terrence Marshall. I learned that a few weeks ago. It's Terrace Marshall. He didn't make the roster. He was an early cut. He got cut on Monday. He and Elijah Cooks, 2 guys that I thought were having good early portions of camp, but injuries got them, and they ended up getting cut. Terrence Marshall and Elijah Cooks. It's just numbers crunch. Darius Cooper earned. Darius Cooper ain't no Paul Turner. Darius Cooper ain't no Travis Fulgham. Darius Cooper's the real deal. And it's a huge, huge win for him to get that roster spot. Huge, confidence boost for him. So love to see Darius Cooper getting that roster spot. And as for the Phillies, must-win game tonight. 2 bad losses and should be up 9 games on them. Mets in their heads, certainly. Mets are in our head in New York. That is for certain. That's why we need the division, Jonathan, right? Because at least if we play the Mets in the playoffs and have the better record, we'll be the home team. At least we'll have more games here in Philly than in New York. But if the Mets come back and win this division, god damn. I wouldn't trust the Phillies in a 7-game series, having to play 4 of them in New York. What is it about certain stadiums and certain cities? Why do teams just struggle in certain situations like that so easily? It's kind of crazy. Like, I hate to say it. Cole Strange coming to Statland? What? I don't know what you're talking about there. That makes 0 sense to me, that comment. Elaborate. Phil, do I trust Taijuan Walker? I would have said yes till Nooms yesterday gave me Taijuan Walker's stats last year against the Mets, or maybe it was Anthony who did that in the chat. He obviously has some problems against the Mets. We're going up against a pitcher that's young, had 2 starts this year, and that's it. Pitched very well in his 2 starts. Young, new pitchers always seem to give Phillies fits. Look, Taijuan Walker is going to go out there and battle tonight. Do I have confidence in him keeping them in the game? Yes. Do I have confidence in him dominating the Mets? No. So something like that. I've got confidence in him keeping us competitive. Phillies are playing like they have already won the division. They haven't won shit. Should be putting down their foot on the. I said it before the series. Boot to ass. Foot on throat. And they're not doing it. They're letting their foot off of it is what they're doing. Cole Strange's Patriots early first round O-line pick cut. Gotcha. I mean, I'm not really staying up on every single team's 30 cuts, so my apologies. My focus, this channel's focus is on the Eagles cuts and who the Eagles could bring in from other teams. We're not bringing anybody else's early O-line cuts, considering we already have 11 guys on the roster and a bunch of other guys that we want to keep in-house ourselves. The 2 names that jumped out, I know a lot of people are jumping over running backs and wide receivers for the Eagles that were cut. I'm looking at safeties that were cut, and I'm looking at Marcus Epps. It's been a minute, but he's had success in the NFL. He's got experience. He's played in the Super Bowl with the Eagles in 2022, also cut by the Patriots. And then Jalen Mills, the Green Goblin, was cut by the Texans, I think it was. So, they would be 2 names I'd be looking at, especially if Drew Makuba's hammy is going to make him miss a game or 2. Or, hell, if he's just not ready because, just like Cooper Dejean, missing time last year, he wasn't really trusted by Vic Fangio until week 5 or 6. So, in that scenario, do we trust Jess Sidney, Brown, Reed, Blankenship, and Tristan McCollum as your only 3 safeties that can go? I don't know. Marcus Epps intrigues me. I think Marcus Epps would be an excellent addition to the back end of the defense. I didn't want the Eagles to lose him after the 2022 season when he left in free agency. Now, he didn't play much last year, and it's been 2 years since he's been good. But as a backup, as a depth piece, I'd 100% be discussing it. And that might be where you get an Adoree Jackson or Keely Ringo cut, is if you bring in another player like a Marcus Epps, maybe. What's up, Bruce? How you doing this morning? Good morning. It is a glorious morning. Even if the Phillies lose, every day is a glorious morning. There are 19 people in the YouTube room right now. That means there should be 19 likes and 19 votes on the poll question, guys. Jalen Mills wasn't very good when he was here the first time. Yeah, that's true. That's true, Rick. I get that. And I was not. I know a lot of people love Jalen Mills because of the personality, the hair. I get it. And that's why he's number 2 over the Marcus Epps and Jalen Mills for me. But I think he could play a depth role, a spot start role, a guy that fills in 4 snaps here, 5 snaps there a game a lot better than some other people. He's got that veteran experience. If he wants another run at a Super Bowl, bringing him in that veteran experience, not to start, not to be a vital part. That's why I would look at him. We don't need starters anywhere. Maybe cornerback 2, maybe cornerback 2. That's about it. We don't need any starters. We need depth pieces. We need backups. That's what we're looking at here. If nobody trusts Taijuan Walker, the Andrew Painter needs to be called up to the show. I trust him to keep us competitive. And yes, on the flip side, Andrew Painter needs to be called up to the show. So does Justin Crawford. We should sign Julius Brents. I did see his name come across my computer. I think I did see that he was cut. Sure. Why not? The thing that annoys me, K1, the thing that annoys me is that every person that gets cut, everybody says, yep, I want them. Yep, I want them. I only signed so many guys. It is glorious time. Glorious. Glorious. Yes, it is a glorious time. You know what, Rick? No matter how bad the Phillies are doing over the last 2 games, when I wake up and I see that weather outside, when I see a beautiful day outside, everything in sports just becomes glorious. Doing this show with you sickos makes me glorious because I know after the show I'm going to go outside. Phil, it is nice outside, but sad inside as we lost again. Yeah, I know. Look, it sucks. These last 2 games, except for Rick, who never sees sees anything darkness with the Phillies. These last 2 games have been massively concerning for the big picture of the Phillies. These hammy problems will be solved if the players focus on less squats or quad training, more hammy training. They got to figure out. I hate hamstring injuries in all sports because they just linger. They hang around. Okay? Hamstring problems have unbridled enthusiasm to not go away. Jonathan, I hate them. Simmons over Mills? See, in a vacuum, yes, I would take Simmons, Epps, then Mills. But the fact that Simmons for the second straight year is still out there tells me something. That either A, Vic Fangio don't want him, B, Simmons doesn't want the role here that we want him for. There's still something weird that Justin Simmons still isn't signed to any football team, and the Eagles haven't brought him in. It just doesn't make sense to me. So because of that, I bump him down. I go Epps 1, Simmons 2. Even with all those question marks, I would still put him over Mills. But for some reason, the Eagles don't seem interested in him. You want to be a tough guy. Reel the screen name. You picked the wrong one. What? I don't know what you're talking about. Sickos, you say. Yeah, you guys are sickos. Hanging out with me every morning. I'm a sicko for hanging out with you every morning. I agree. If Painter will probably be great, and I feel Crawford is going. I think Crawford's already a star, for sure. Should Dombrowski place the closer on the injured list? Duran has been bad since the ankle injury. Yeah, I mean, he did have one save since that ankle injury. Look, speaking of the IL, the fact that we still could not cut Jordan Romano, we had to put him in the injured list instead, just tells me that they're going to try in 2 weeks to bring Jordan Romano back. What's up with that? How can we still have Jordan Romano on this team? It's pathetic. Walker complete game, 2-hit shutout. Now I know you're smoking something good early in the morning. Now I know you're waking bacon. Hello, darkness, Phillies friend. Yes, that is correct. As far as cut players of other teams, Howie will make a move that he sees fit. Howie touched on. Yeah, absolutely. Howie Roseman's never done. That's why the title of the show today is Eagles 53-man roster is not finished. Because Howie Roseman's never done. Never. Howie Roseman's always thinking, okay? And Howie Roseman will find a way to improve this team. However he sees fit that it needs improved, but also however he sees fit, based off of what becomes available. He's always going to try, even if there's a player he likes on this team, but someone better becomes available, he's going to make those changes. Duran needs to throw more pitches in the fastball. Yeah, I don't know. I just think he's in a rough spot right now. I think he'll get through it, Duran. I feel we must win tonight, but I'm worried as Walker's not reliable. Taijuan Walker's actually pretty reliable this year, except he's not reliable against the Mets. He's obviously had either Anthony or Nooms gave me his stats yesterday against the Mets last year, and I think he had, like a 7 ERA? So he's not reliable against the Mets, but he has been reliable this year in general. So I'll be curious to see how he does tonight. If he can give you 5 innings, keep the Mets under 3 runs, I mean, we got to hope our bats wake up. Did you see that Bryce wasn't wearing his Mets? I heard it. Yes, I never look at their shoes. I don't. But yeah, I heard about that. And he had 3 hits last night, Bryce, right? When he said Simmons, I thought of Ben Simmons. He's still a free agent, Ben Simmons. I mean, we're guard central, right? So why not? I don't know why we put up with this verbal abuse. Because you love me and you're a sicko. We are never beating the Mets in the playoffs. Marshawn, you better get home field advantage against the Mets in the playoffs, right? Because you can't expect to win 4 games when you got to go to New York 4 times in a playoff series. So they better at least hold on to the division. Just think we're up 7. Now we're up only 5. We lose tonight. It's a 4 game. The Mets are just, they're making the Phillies Met, basically, at this point. Romano must have foot. I made a joke to one of my buddies, Jim, the realtor, and said he's got a picture of Dombrowski, Rob Thompson, and John Middleton sitting in a circle naked together, doing something. I don't know, because it's ridiculous. I can make a joke about some other list that he might have a copy of that Dombrowski's name's on, but I'm not going to go there. Dave Dombrowski needs to put himself on injured list and keep Romano on the team. Oh, man. We getting swept tonight. I mean, the odds are probably in that favor, and that is very disappointing, Marshawn. The Phillies are playing like the Sixers this week. Phil, I feel the only good part last night was when the Mets brought in Soto, and he gave up all those runs. I was glad when we traded Soto. Yeah, Soto was one of those guys I thought was going to be so much better than he was with the Phillies, and clearly I was just misunderstanding who Gregory Soto was at that point, too. It won't matter if we win the division. If we run into any team formidable like the Mets, we will lose. Yeah, I mean, can we beat the Mets or the Brewers or the Dodgers in a 7-game series? I don't know. Yes, Adam, I did lock my door. I double, triple checked it. I will always double, triple check it. Even when I see the door get locked, I'm still going to check it. So, yes, I did not forget to lock the door. If Walker flops tonight by 5th inning, Mets sweep. Phillies need to score 7 or 8 before the 6th inning. The offense definitely needs to put some runs across the plate. Definitely. Maybe the Mets have a cheat scheme at home like the Astros. I saw somebody joke, because what was that thing in the outfield in game 1? That speaker, that light or whatever it was in the batter's eye. Someone saying that was really the Mets cheating and stealing signs and stuff. Would it put it past you, Rick? They got to win the World Series, right? They just gave out $750,000 to a player, and they got to recoup that money. So they got to cheat to recoup that money in the playoffs. 20 watching, only 14 guys. Like, share, subscribe, vote on the poll question, guys. It should be easy, right? We're playing the Mets again in the regular season, right? I think we play them again next week, Marshawn, right? I think it was 2 out of the next 4 series or 2 out of the next 3. So, yeah, we've got the Mets again and very soon. Phil, last night was the first time Soto was ever good for us. Yeah. Duran will blow the game tonight. I kind of feel like we've had this problem before where we bring in bullpen arms at the deadline and then they instantly suck once they get here. They instantly can't handle the pressure of Philly. I hope that's not the case. Jhoan Duran is still the best closer in Philly's history. Feck the Mutts. They aren't winning shit this year in the playoffs. They can enjoy their August World Series. Rick, again, you're Mr. Positivity, so I already know the answer to the question before I say it, but you're telling me you're 110% confident if the Phillies have to go to New York and win games in the playoffs, you have no worries. You have 0% worries in that situation. And I think you're lying to yourself, or you've got some really good stuff. Phil, I feel we will win tonight because if we lose, the team knows we'll be in trouble. That's why the question is tonight must win? And right now, 58% of the votes say yes, 16% say no, 26% say who cares, they suck, and nobody. Rick, you didn't vote the final answer? Who cares, they will be champs. Can't believe, Rick, you didn't vote for that one. We play them again. We're playing them again, I think, next week. I think it's the first series. We got the Mets and the Braves, and I think it's right back to the Mets. 6-28 in their last 34 at Citi Field. God damn. But Rick is 100% sure that we will beat them in New York in a playoff game. Yeah, I don't remember the last time any Philadelphia team struggled so mightily against one team on their home field or home court. It's crazy. You're nuts, Rick. You're nuts. Nuts. Phil, I say yes. Did you have a problem with Topper when he brought in Kirk Green with bases loaded? No. You got to bring in somebody. Who else are you going to bring in that situation? You're not bringing in Duran. I think Robertson wasn't available yesterday. My bigger issue is Topper not showing emotion when the players. I mean, you got Luzardo getting thrown out of a game, arguing, blah, blah, blah. And yet, Topper doesn't do anything. My concern still with Topper is that he doesn't fight for his teammates with the umps. That's still always one of my biggest beefs with him. Why does anyone expect the Phillies to not choke again? Because I don't know. I don't know. No must-wins in August in baseball relaxes as baseball. It's baseball. I get it, long season. But you got a team chasing you in the division, and you're getting smoked by them night in and night out. And they're closing that gap. It is a must-win just to break the slump. Just for that alone. Just to give the Phillies a little bit of confidence so that when October comes, they've got something good to draw upon, Duck. Absolutely. The secret to happiness is to avoid self-delusion. Called the pizza shot. Okay, yeah, well, we close at 4, so I don't answer the phone after 4. Can you say how many games you feel the Eagles will win this year? My exact prediction will come Tuesday next week. Will be my record prediction officially. But I'm working on it already. I've got about 11 or 12 wins. Not sure how I'm going to fall on the final number, but I got 11 or 12 wins. I still got them winning the division. Still got them winning the Super Bowl. Bills versus Ravens. Is that a week 1 game? I think that is a week 1 game. And that's a hell of a first week matchup right there between two teams that could be the Eagles' opponent in the Super Bowl. Right now, I think, and I'm not positive, I think I am predicting an Eagles-Ravens I-95 Super Bowl. I think that's where I'm going to land. Eagles versus boys. The Eagles are going to win week 1, for sure. Taiwan is going to give up 8 runs in 4 innings tonight. He hasn't done that all year, has he? So why would you think that? 600. I thought I was at 602. Did I lose 2 subscribers in the middle of the show? I hope I didn't lose 2. Let's refresh the screen. No, I'm still at 602. Haven't lost anything. So 602. The umpire was terrible for both teams last night. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I got a still shot of him, mouthing off at Luzardo when Luzardo was mouthing off at him, making the game about himself. In 3 weeks, when the Mets are 9 games out of first, nobody will even remember the series. I will. Phil, I will miss all of next week as I have to go training for my new job. Congratulations on the new job. Let me know where you're working. 602. Yeah, that's what I thought. Should be 6,500 by now, K1. Got big things in the pipeline, K1. Got a new little deal that might help us get the boost that we need here in the coming weeks. Last night was prime example as to who we need ABS. Absolutely agree. We might not agree on the wins and the losses, Rick, but we 1,000% need this. 100,000%. You've got the technology, and you're choosing not to use it. Choosing not to use it. Why? I don't know. I will say this about technology. I was listening to a part of the 3rd preseason game, Rick, in my car as I was driving home from work last Friday, and Merrill Reese and Mike Quick were bashing the digitalized first down lines and how they're using that to measure for first downs. Mike Quick was bashing it. So I don't know if that's not that good. Yes, congrats to Bruce. Mitchie Poo in the house. No sponsorships. Maybe a little partnership with another channel. Not taking the show to another channel. Just some work I might be doing with another brand that might help bring some more eyes to this channel, separate from trending in the AM. But it might have something to do with Fairway to Heaven a little bit. We're still working out the details. Should I make a comic book for Super Tough Guy? Yes, you should. I am leaving my job at Best Buy. My new job is at Microsoft Administrator. Awesome. Congratulations to that. Good for you. God for you. What's happening to the Phillies at Citi Field is the definition of the Mets living rent-free in the Phillies' head. Only people that watch this show regularly know the joke there, but yes, Duck, you are 100% accurate. Guys, 18, 19 people watching, and there's still not that many likes on the video, so please like, please subscribe. Please share this out. I'd greatly appreciate it. Welcome to the IT world. Yeah, exactly. Mets are living rent-free in the Phillies' head. 100%. 100%. Yeah, I want more pay than I'm getting. In 100 years, we're going to look back and laugh and say, yeah, a guy in a heavily padded gear and heavy mask used to lean over a guy's shoulder to distinguish of 100. Yeah, exactly. Like seriously. It's 2025. We don't need 100 years. Well, we're not going to be here to evaluate this in 100 years. If I'm still here in 100 years, God forbid. But we have the technology now. And we're not using it. Like, why? Why? Just have confidence in yourself, Bruce. You need to have the confidence in yourself like Rick has in the Phillies, and you will do just fine. The power of positivity. Is that digital first down worse than the ref using the index card to measure the first down? I remember that, Adam. Seriously. Meanwhile, no, stop. 100 years. I look at Phil and laugh. I know exactly. Dude, I had somebody responding to one of my shorts. Let me pull up their name. Maybe they're watching. I told them to watch and say this is a much more positive show. Where's this comment here from them? responded to thinking I was being negative about the safety concerns. Where was his comment here? You sound more like a fan from a team from the 70s. Thinks I'm a fan of the Eagles from the 70s. Do I look like I'm old enough to have watched football in 1970? Seriously? This beautiful face? I know there's some gray hair, and I know I'm no spring chicken, but I wasn't alive in the 70s, let alone watching football in the 70s. I am working on it, and I will try. Well, you got it. I got confidence in you, Bruce. Team trending in the AM has got confidence. Have confidence? Like, no, you need better confidence than that, for sure. Rick still, yeah, exactly. Anyway, guys, 35 minutes in. Likes, shares, subscribes, vote on the poll question. We are talking this Eagles 53-man roster. We are talking the Phillies. We're talking, you know what's interesting? There are only 2 rookies from this draft class cut. Kyle McCord and APR. Now, I expect both of them to make it onto our practice squad. But that's a pretty good track record that almost every one of your rookies made the roster. And 2 6-round picks didn't, and that's it. Were you shocked that Anais Smith got cut? I wasn't shocked at how he figured a way around the long snapper situation to save a roster spot. Really interesting the way it is. And there's one other question. Anais Smith got cut. You know, Darius Cooper, John Mechie are your 4th and 5th wide receiver. How would it have played out if Johnny Wilson didn't get hurt? Would Darius Cooper have made the team? Or would they have gone 6 wide receivers and cut someone else somewhere else? There's a lots of Dirks on Twitter looking for anything to find. That comment I was making on was actually a YouTube comment. If the Phillies have to face the Mets in the playoffs, they should just forfeit. Yeah, at least the game's in New York, right? Phil, you read Creepy Duck's comment about me. Okay, do you want me to read it? Because you guys just go back and forth. I put it up on the screen. I didn't even read Duck's either. Meanwhile, Duck can't stop thinking of me. All right, there you go. You guys just bicker like 2 old ladies. You're like the Golden Girls. I was not. Anais Smith getting cut. He was last on my list. I personally was not shocked he got cut. I didn't think he was worthy of a roster spot. I didn't like him last year. I didn't think he was that good last year either. But he was your best option to return punts. And I still curious on how it's going to play out. Curious on who's going to be the one back there. Very curious, honestly. And honestly, like I said, you're putting the long snapper on the practice squad to start the season to elevate him. You can elevate 2 players, each week. I think you can only elevate them twice, and you have to put them on the roster, too. Maybe Anais Smith and Charlie Hewlett are your 2 elevated guys the first week. Again, I still think Anais Smith should go elsewhere. I think Anais Smith is the type of football player that needs a new start somewhere else where he's going to have an opportunity to get on the field. Because outside of special teams, he would have 0 chance to get on the field with this roster. Lots of nerds on YouTube. Yeah, I mean, look at me. Look at you. We have a few options. Brick Covey. Yeah, I still don't hate the Brick Covey idea, but I think the Brick Covey idea is a short-term fix because Brick Covey is not going to take a roster spot from anyone else on this team. You can only use him off the practice squad twice before you have to give him a roster, right? Or maybe you bring him up twice, you cut him, then you bring him back and elevate him twice again. I don't know how he would figure that out. But I'm not cutting Darius Cooper so that Britton Covey can have a spot on the actual roster eventually. How'd you get that job? I've been applying for years at openings at companies like Microsoft and no luck. Well, you guys can chat about that in the chat. I'm going to miss the Cowboys fan coming in here telling us Kellen Moore only runs curl routes. He never came back again. That was a one and done. He dipped in and dipped out and never to be seen again. Tell the 5 families in Brooklyn to stop threatening to break the umpire's legs if they call strikes. Yeah. Well, I'm going to Brooklyn on Sunday. I'll be in Brooklyn. Anybody anywhere near Brooklyn, come hang out. I'll be in Brooklyn Sunday and Monday. But yeah. I had another angle to go with at the roster, and now I lost my train. Oh, Nakobe Dean. So there's an interesting situation as well. Nakobe Dean, we all knew was going to be put on the PUP list. physically unable to prepare list. We knew he wasn't going to be available to start the season. Drew McCuba wasn't. Some of the other injured players weren't. Landon Dickerson, A.J. Brown. So they're going to play soon, if not immediately. Nakobe Dean put out a post on social medias throughout yesterday. See you in 5 weeks. So Nakobe Dean thinks he is going to be cleared to play by week 5. I think that's the Broncos game, right? Cowboys, Chiefs, Rams. Yeah, I think the Broncos is week 5. I'd be shocked if he's cleared by week 5. But if he is, where does he fit on this roster? You're going to have to make another cut for him. So that's why this roster, it's not finished. It's going to evolve a lot. But when I see Nakobe Dean saying he's going to be back in 5 weeks, I'm curious. If Nakobe Dean is 100% healthy, if he's 100% healthy, well, as close to 100% healthy as he could be this year, does he get his job back? And do you move Jihaad Campbell to the outside? Let's not forget Nakobe Dean, before he got hurt, was having just as good of a season as Zach Bond, honestly. I know people don't want to admit it, but he was. And Nakobe Dean, when healthy, is a very serviceable, very good linebacker. I'm curious to see what they do with him, considering how good Jihaad Campbell's been so far. And by the way, I think I'm right in saying that Jihaad Campbell will be starting week 1 against Dallas. Those curl routes won a Super Bowl. Hey, those curl routes won a Super Bowl, and guess what? Dallas still hasn't. Did I say physically unable to prepare, play, whatever? The pup list, all right? You just love calling out my tongue slips, right? I'm not allowed in Little Italy until you give me a pass. Okay, I'll give you a pass. All right? You come hang out with me. Depends how good Jihaad is playing. Yeah, I mean, I feel bad to an extent for Trot Jr. Because Trot Jr.'s had an excellent camp preseason and the last year. In theory, Trot Jr. should be that starting linebacker. But Jihaad Campbell is just so goddamn good, you're not going to be able to take him off the field. Now, he might not play 100% of the snaps, Jihaad Campbell, like you're going to get out of Cooper Dejean, Quinion Mitchell, and guys like that. Mostly like that Zach Bond. But Jihaad Campbell is just a special breed. And I stand by my statements that the NFL will regret 100%. They are going to regret letting him become a Philadelphia Eagle. They are going to regret it this year, him being a Philadelphia Eagle. They're 3 years from now, when he's winning Defensive Player of the Year, they're going to regret it. Yeah, first-rounder start. Absolutely great. But I feel bad for Trot, just on a personal level, because he literally did everything to earn that starting job, and it still wasn't enough. And then I feel bad for Zach Bond. Something in sports that I hate so much is when an injury costs you your job. When you get hurt, you battle back, but you can't get your job back because someone played so well. It happened with Jalen Hurts and Tua at Alabama. The first time Jalen Hurts got hurt, Tua got the job. Basically, what the start of Tua taking over for Hurts from was because Jalen Hurts got hurt at Alabama. I hate that when an injury costs you your job. And 2 months ago, 3 months ago, I was talking about how Nakobe Dean will get healthy this year and maybe gets one more chance with the Eagles next year. But at this point, when you got Zach Bond locked up for a couple of years, you've got Campbell, you've got Mondin, both of them on rookie deals. You got Trot Jr. still on a rookie deal. There ain't no room for Nakobe Dean. Is there a market to trade? First off, I don't even know if this is possible. Can you trade someone that's on the PUP list? I don't know. It just seems like something that maybe you're not allowed to do. Is there an opportunity to trade Nakobe Dean even before he's healthy, even before he returns, or maybe at the trade deadline? Is there a team out there that would take a chance on Nakobe Dean to have first rights at signing him in free agency? Is there value there? Because for the first time since the Buddy Ryan era, we are deep at linebacker. We got 4 guys out there, 3 that could start right now, 1 that's developing into a starter in Smile Mondon. A team that only runs 2 linebackers at most. Just think about that. Think about that. Whoa, a bunch of comments came in at once. I got to go, Phil. All right, well, you have a good day. Good orientation there. We'll talk soon, my man. Kelce stinks. Yeah, by the way, Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift, tying the knot. They got engaged. Yay! Hold on, I got a cheer here somewhere. No, that's a laugh. Yeah, I forgot about my soundboard and sound effects. Let's not forget, the golden couple is going to get married. Oh, so sweet, so sweet. It isn't JTJ's fault. He's a mediocre athlete. JTJ? Jeremiah Trotter Jr. Gotcha. Sorry. Duh. I think he's done well. And without Jihaad Campbell, he'd be starting right now. A wise man once said, your best ability is your availability. Absolutely. You can't help the club. Barb's in the house. Barb, what's up? You can't help the club from the tub, Barb. You just can't. Phil, that worked out great for Jalen, though. He went to Oklahoma and was one of the most. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that the way he handled the situation in Alabama is why I became such. I mean, he was very supportive of Tua. He took the role as the backup, very seriously. I think how he handled it in Alabama is why proves why he's such a great quarterback now in the NFL. On the flip side, how he handled it or how it happened is why he got the chance in Alabama. So, absolutely great. When Dean comes back, they will get rid of Jackson or Ringo. Yeah, possibly. Tay-Tay stinks. Oh, you know what? She is what she is. Would most of y'all rather the Phillies lose so you have something to bitch about? What? We're having a positive Eagles conversation, and you want to drop a negative. For as negative as we are, you're bringing negativity into the show because no one's being negative right now. What a perfect day to start a week-long vacation. Yeah. It's a beautiful week to have vacation, too. You want me to do the laugh? Oh, it didn't play. There it goes. It's all about mindset. If you want positive first, who's being negative? You're the one bringing in negativity. You don't realize it, but you're the one that's bringing in the negativity. We're on the power of positivity train with the Eagles right now, talking about how they have a surplus where they have tough decisions to make because they've got so many good players. So does Nakobe Dean have a trade market out there? And it looks like he is going to play. When's the trade deadline now in football? Like week 7? Week 8? Something. It's later now. Is there an opportunity to trade him? And mind you, you guys have watched this a long time. You know, I'm a huge Nakobe Dean fan. When you got Jihaad Campbell playing the way he is, wow. I guess I missed the Phillies talk. No, we're still talking. Phillies are on the agenda the whole show. I mean, the poll question of the day, Barb, is tonight must win. Right now, we got 55% say yes, 18% say no, 27% say who cares, they suck, and no one says who cares, they're champs. Which I'm surprised Rick didn't vote that option there. So you could tell me, positively or negatively, 100% what you think of what's going on the last 2 nights in New York and what you think has to happen tonight or how you'll feel if the good doesn't happen tonight. I'm positive Phillies need to cut Nick Castellanos. Well, you don't cut him. You trade him because someone would take him. And I'm positive in the offseason, I'm positive that it's going to be heavily discussed in the offseason. Will it happen? I don't know, but I'm positive it'll be heavily discussed. What's the first rule when you go after the king? Don't miss. Everyone who dethroned him can hold his jock. Super Bowl MVP, what's Tua up to? Yeah, look, I mean, not to get off subject, but I can't believe Tua is still even playing football at this point of his life, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Nick's at-bat yesterday against the Mets reliever might be the worst at-bat of the season by any hitter. I don't even remember that one seriously. 27. Hey, look, it's a poll question. 18%. I mean, if you don't think tonight's a must-win, again, you got the good shit in the morning. When Duran threw the exact same pitch in the exact same location to Marte, I shut the game off. I didn't. You know what? Honestly, Rick or Nooms, I don't know if that was the pitch, but somewhere in the 9th inning or somewhere in the ninth inning there, I'm like, yeah, there's zero chance that the Phillies are winning this game. And they were still having the lead, so I turned the TV off. It was tied 5-5. I turned the TV. I'm like, yeah, there's zero chance. I'm like, I'm catching my first Z 5 minutes earlier, for sure. Does the soundboard have a boo option? No, I don't think so. I'd have to go. I have to write down what they all do. It's not a must-win because the Mets pitching staff is full of Joe Ross, Orion, and Romano types. Ooh, that's harsh. Putting Orion Kerkering in the Joe Ross, Jordan Romano category. Damn, that's harsh. Like, Kerkering's not been perfect this year, but man, that's harsh putting him there. I mean, he's got a 3.04 ERA on the season. Ross was cut at least, and Corky Romano is on the injured list for the next 15 days. But man, harsh. Must win in August baseball. Hey, I call games in June and May must win because I live and breathe by the moment, not big picture. Duran hasn't been the same since getting hit by that ball. I'm very worried that he is hurt and trying to play through it. I don't know. Maybe. There should have been with baseball, it's football season option. You know what? That F out of here. Yeah. That should have been K1. It's Ryder Cup season. It's Procure Championship season. I should have put that, not who cares. They suck or whatever. I should have put F out of here. It's football season. You are right. My apologies. I'll take one for the team on that. That is the Ringo of soundboards minutes. Okay. Well, drop me a Venmo for like $2,000 and I'll get a high-tech one, okay? How about the Phillies cutting Ross but keeping Romano just because of money? Well, they cut him. They put him on the injured list, okay? Dude, I don't get it. Explain it to me. Phil knows I call that Kirk shit before it even happened. I was hot. You called it. You called it. Orion sucks. His ERA is okay because he lets all the inherited runners score. I don't trust him, yeah. So maybe you just don't put him in with inherited runners. Maybe when he starts innings, he's not bad. When you bring him in mid-inning, and that's on the manager knowing what situations to put what relievers in. So him not stopping those inherited runners from scoring, that's just as much on Rob Thompson as it is in him. No confidence Sanchez and Luzardo after losing to the Mets. Can the Phillies? Oh, don't go negative on Christopher Sanchez. Christopher Sanchez is a stud. Okay? Christopher Sanchez is fine. I'm not worried about him one bit. Luzardo, you got to hope he's on one of his ups. Luzardo's had a lot of peaks and valleys. And I said that. Everyone's like, oh, we got a steal of a deal when we got him in the offseason. I'm like, yo, he's a peaks and valley pitcher. He's going to have a lot of highs and he's going to have a lot of lows. He's had a couple highs lately, but then he followed it up with a low yesterday. You got to hope, just like the offense, Luzardo come playoff time is on one of his highs. If they are worried about Duran, then they shouldn't let him. I don't think they're worried about him. I don't think so. Make that make sense. Make what makes sense. Which one? Rob Thompson's a bad manager. I mean, he's the winningest manager, but yes, he's a bad manager as well. I agree. We love our mid players named Sanchez in this town. Sanchez needs to get dirty again. I fully expect Sanchez this weekend against the Braves to completely 100% turn it around and just straight manhandle whatever he went Tuesday or Monday's games. He'll probably pitch what on Saturday? Trying to do the math real quick in my head. All right, we're up to 18 likes on this video. It means there's still people that aren't hitting that like button and that share button. We got 22 votes on the poll, but only 18 likes on the video and no new subscribers. What's up with that? Let's hit those buttons, guys. Please. Big things happening. Big things popping. Eagles get to the practice field at 2:30 today. Be interested to see how that plays out. For sure. Very, 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 very curious. Can we hit 20? I mean, that's only 2 more likes. I'm sure in 35 minutes we'll get 2 more likes on this video. I'm almost positive on it. Maybe I'm putting the horse boat. Yeah, maybe I'm jumping ahead here, but I'm pretty positive on that. All right? Pretty positive on that. But anyway, Phillies, Eagles, that's what it is. Well, you want more pop culture? I'm going to give you pop culture. Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce got engaged. And I love it. They're going to be on our TV screen even more. You know why? Because I'm a businessman. And I understand, while they're annoying as bleepity bleep, they sell. They bring money. Look, I got them tagged in the back end of the YouTube page today. Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce, Kelce engaged, Swift engaged. I put all those hashtags in the back end. Good for them. It wasn't just a publicity stunt. It wasn't just a one-night fling. They actually do look happy, so good for them. I was the 20. Good for you. Awesome. What's up, Dante? How you doing today? Taylor and Travis, will their love last? People were showing their betting tickets of bets they made when they started dating, whether they would get engaged ever. Now people are sharing their betting tickets. They're dropping bets on how many years their marriage will last. And then I see tweets, jokes of the divorce album will really hit hard. There's plenty more people to subscribe, Barb. Okay? There's plenty of Eagles channels and sports channels. They got 50, 60,000 subscribers. Some good ones with hundreds of thousands of subscribers. So I'm going to keep pushing because I want more names joining. We had early in the show 4 or 5 new names join the chat. Always want more because the more subscribers, the more people tune in. Maybe someday I make a few bucks at this. That's the thing. I do too. I love it. Good for them. Good for them. Last night was quite possibly the worst home plate umping I've seen. I didn't watch every minute of last night's game, Noobs. I just know the recap and the innings I watched. Wife had me watching the Bruce Willis thing with Diane Sawyer on ABC last night, which was actually pretty heart-pulling, okay, kind of thing. But was it worse than when we had that minor league ump that one game a few months ago? Because that, to me, was the worst. Or maybe it was like a month ago. But, yeah. When he retires, probably after the season, she won't follow football anymore. Yeah, but we're going to see them on our screen every single week this year. That is for sure. Do you think they will do it? They're doing it. They're probably doing it right now. What's so annoying about Travis and Taylor? They are fine for now. Celebrity marriages just seem doomed. Yeah, there's that part for sure. Absolutely. Good for them, though. I'm happy for them. It doesn't make me excited. I just think it's funny. I think it's so funny how many people get so pissed off or so over-the-top excited about it. It's crazy. It really is. Taylor Swift seems like a yeah, actually, she does. She does, Kayla. She really does seem like a good person. So, yeah. But still, people like, I just know so many people who are so freaking, oh, my God, it's so awesome. Great. I'm like, it's so funny. I've never been that enamored with a celebrity of any level that I just lived and breathed by what they did. I mean, this is how, Joe, you're not wrong. This is how big a deal it is. It's world news. I mean, when you have billions of albums sold and you're probably one of the biggest artists album sales wise of all time, yeah. See, I'm in love with them or I hate them. There's no in between with them. I think Taylor could have done a lot better than Kelly has. He does seem like a weird personality for her, for sure. Or you're just jealous it wasn't you. Phil, did you like Taylor before she got? No, I mean, I still don't like her. Her music's not my thing. I've never bought her music. I never will buy her music. She's not preset on any of my alerts on XM. Honestly, outside of 2 or 3 of her biggest hits, I couldn't even tell you half her songs. 90% of her songs. You could play a song for me right now, Barb, and I would say, is it a Taylor song or not? And I would have no clue. Almost guaranteed. Not my stuff. Not watch her concerts. But, you know, I get it. She's got mass appeal to a lot of people. You are a crumb bum. You are a major crumb bum. Taylor Swift is a genuine person that's also a genuine sports trader. Yeah, she is a trader. That is true. That is very, very true. I find it funny that a guy told Taylor to bow to her husband. She's an effing billionaire. Travis, yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't care either. I honestly don't. Talking to them, we just went from 19 people in the room to 14 people in the room like that. No, not afraid of that. At least Jason Kelce seems like the more likable brother. Yeah. Travis still strikes me as the party guy. But maybe that's just the personality he puts out in the public. Maybe he's different behind the scenes. Whatever. I don't care. Look at us. We're turning trending in the AM to TMZ today. Look what we've done to this. They've turned us. That's how big a news. This hard-hitting sports show, talking Phillies and Eagles positively and negatively, is turning into TMZ today. What happened? Katy Perry, you mean Perry, and Goo stink, but we can admit they have a few catchy songs. I don't know the answer to that. Yeah, exactly. It's called Synergy. Synergy is the algo dropping. The algo's supposed to boom when I mention Taylor Swift. Say her name, and she appears. That's what's supposed to happen. But people are tuning in for the first time, expecting Phillies game, must win or not tonight talk. The 53-man roster not complete talk. And I'm sitting here saying, Tay-Tay. There. I got to try to start working in sound effects at least 2 or 3 times a show now. Yeah, TMZ in the AM. I'm right. I like that. We're writing that down. TMZ in the AM. That is a solid pull from Anthony. Let's get to the real question today. Will Keegan pick himself for the U.S. Ryder Cup? He better damn well pick himself for the Ryder Cup, Joe. Without a doubt. Okay, there's not 11 better golfers to represent our country in the Ryder Cup than Keegan Bradley. I do not want Colin Morikawa and his 75 caddies on the Ryder Cup. And if Kawa makes the team and Ben Griffin does not, I'm gonna lose my shit. Okay? No, Duck, there are plenty of couples that go to games in opposing jerseys. I know. Kenny Pickett is in another team right now. So yeah, Kenny Pickett got traded to the Raiders. Carson Wentz signed with the Vikings. We talked about that the other day, Barb. On different levels. That will Carson Wentz have the Randall Cunningham redemption arc in Minnesota? Probably not. And some people still hope for him to have some success because of his time here. And then somebody else said that why would we want him to have success? So Carson Wentz actually spent a few minutes talking Carson Wentz the other day. What did I pass right over? I don't even know what you think I passed over. But for her partner, yeah. I don't know what I missed. Super big Philly Press Box Radio tonight. Wow, jam-packed Press Box Radio tonight. 7 p.m. live right here on the ST2 Sports Network. The Morning Show King, Angelo Cataldi, and the Godfather of Eagles, Ray Didinger. That should be a pretty interesting show tonight, right here on this channel. That's why you hit that subscribe button, so you don't miss Press Box Radio tonight. Cataldi. Make sure, chat, you let him know that I'm the new king of the morning. You got to tell Angelo to watch this morning show, all right? Tell him I'm the king. I have taken his crown as the best morning show in Philadelphia. Never forget your roots, ever. Pick it to the Raiders gives him the best opportunity to start a few games. Absolutely agree. If the Eagles add a player before the Cowboys game, what position will it be? Safety. Safety will be the position they add. That's my opinion. Chet in the chat. Yes, of course. More popular than the chat itself is Chet in the chat. The tree can't grow. There should be a soundboard cue for Chet. Nope, that wasn't the right one. Nope, that wasn't right. I got to take notes on the on the soundboard. Duck Carson could start to only a rookie. Yeah, I think Carson, J.J. McCarty, I am not sold on handing him the keys coming off of a season-long injury. So while I liked him coming out of Michigan, was Michigan, right? I don't know about just giving him the job. You know, they let go of a quarterback and Sam Darnold that won 14 games last year, and you let him go to hand the reins over. I lob them in, and K1 hits them out of the park. Good job. Home runs. It's glorious this morning. It's so true what Barb says. Actually, I think there's a better chance for Carson to get more starts this year than Kenny Pickett. Air raid warning could be a good check cue. I don't know what I've got here on the board. I don't. I really got to do work on the soundboard. I got to take notes, I guess, on the soundboard. I guess that's what I got to do. Who knows? Or I could just continue to ignore the fact that I have a soundboard like I normally do. We're up to 22 likes today. Can we get to 25? Can we get to 25? No new subscribers, but that's okay. The cannonball runs Dom DeLuise. Yeah, I kind of remember this, but I kind of don't. For me, tonight's game at Citi Field is a must-win for the Phillies for their mental state and ours. Yes. I mean, our mental state, yes, is a problem. But for theirs, Chet, I mean, think about it. There's a good chance we face the Mets in the playoffs at some point. The Phillies got to know they can win in Citi Field. You go out there and get swept tonight. When we go to Citi Field in the playoffs, there's going to be that doubt in the back of their head. And that's a problem. You don't want a team having doubt entering the playoffs. You have to go out. Unfortunately, you got Taijuan Walker, who has struggled against the Mets over the last year or so. He's had a good year this year, but he struggled against the Mets overall. It's going to be a tough one. They got a good young pitcher going tonight, too. They had to let Darnold go. Otherwise, it would have been a huge quarterback controversy. It's not a quarterback controversy, Duck. Because this is what you do as the franchise, as the GM, as the coach. Sam Darnold won us 14 games. We have faith that J.J. McCarthy can be the quarterback someday. But we are not moving on from a guy that just won 14 games for us. And if you, as a fan, don't understand that, then what are you doing? Get it together with the soundboard. Okay, sorry. Next time you say something dumb, that's what I'm going to do, okay? That's what I'm going to do. By the way, I'll be on, so 7 to 8 o'clock is Philly Press Box Radio. 7:15, I will be on Mitch Bernstein's show tonight. I don't even know where it is, honestly. It's on a channel. But I'll share it out on Twitter. But I'll be on Mitch Bernstein's show tonight. I love my man, Mitch Bernstein. Mitch, if you're listening, drop a comment with where to find your show tonight. But yeah, I'll be on Mitch's show tonight talking Eagles and Phillies at 7:15. Like 20 minutes tonight. But yeah, Chet, don't forget to tell Angela who the real king in the morning is, just so you know. The real dominant faction in the morning. Guys, 20 minutes left in the show. Who will be, so you know, the question before was, where was it? If they add one player, what position will be? I say safety. I want to know what other people think. What will be the first position added, not to the practice squad, to the 53-man roster? Will it be a safety, a cornerback, a wide receiver? I still lean towards Marcus Epps at this point. I do. But same, Darnold will be same Darnold and won't win another 14 games for them. He won't win 14 in Seattle. He might not win 14 in Seattle. He might. He might not. But you know what? That's not cool to do. I mean, he turned his career around. It doesn't mean he's going to resort back to old Sam Darnold. He might not win 14 games, but he might win 11 games in Seattle this year. I actually don't know too much about their roster. They got, Cooper Kupp now instead of DK Metcalf. They still have Kenneth Walker, strong running back. I don't know enough about Seattle's roster at this point. But let's think about it. Like, Sam Darnold approved he can win. J.J. McCarthy hasn't done anything but get hurt and not play. And you're just turning the reins over to basically a rookie coming off 14 wins. I think it's a mistake, personally. I really, really, truly think it's a mistake. But that's just me. Safety. I agree. Again, Marcus Epps would be my target. And who on the 53-man roster do I cut? Maybe one of the offensive linemen. Unfortunately, maybe Byron Young. Ogbo Okenrokwo made the roster, shockingly, over Patrick Johnson and APR. I was kind of shocked by that there. Maybe he's a guy that gets cut if you add somebody else to the roster. Maybe that's the way I go. The only reason Darnold played was because of JJ's injury. It was always JJ's job. That's fine, and I get that. I get it. I already said I hate losing a job to an injury, but Sam Darnold didn't just play well. Sam Darnold won 14 freaking games. Now, mind you, he did have a super team because he has Justin Jefferson, but that's not an excuse for him because, it's only the excuse against, Jalen Hurts, but you get what I'm saying. K1, I'm surprised you didn't ask me to say all the edge rushers that the Eagles kept. And I don't even know if I'm even remotely close, and I would like a serious answer. Am I close in saying Double O's name? Ogbo Okoronkwo. I don't think I'm even close on that last name. Double O. But you go sign Marcus Epps, cut him. Byron Young, like the guy, but cut him. Maybe. I was kind of surprised they didn't keep Patrick Johnson for special teams at all. I'm a Michigan fan. I'm telling you, I have some serious J.J. McCarthy doubts. Now, I was in that draft process, I was on McCarthy. I was on Bo Nix instead of, the guys like Caleb Williams that went at the top. But, yeah, you can have doubts about him, and they're warranted. And he's coming off of a season-ending injury. So he hasn't played football in 2 years, basically. Whenever his last playoff game in college was, his last bowl game in college, till this week. The longest he's gone. It's a tough one. I don't think Minnesota is going to be anywhere near the playoffs this year. I think it's the Lions and the Packers in that division, and that's it, that make the playoffs. Who are going to be the playoff teams this year in the NFC? It's obviously going to be the Eagles and Commanders. It's going to be the Lions and the Packers. Whoever, the Tampa Bay Bucks win that division, that's 5. I think the Cardinals and the Rams. I think the Cardinals are going to be the sneaky team that makes the playoffs this year as the 7th seed. I still think the Rams win that division in the West, even with whatever's going on with Matthew Stafford. They say Matthew Stafford will start. But they're my early predictions on the playoff teams. Eagles, Commanders, Lions, Packers, Falcons, Cardinals, Rams. They're my 7 playoff teams in the NFC. And really the only threats to the Eagles are the Commanders and the Lions. The Lions already seem to be cursed with injuries. But that's me. Whoa. Slow down that Bucks talk. Falcons are here to take over. No, I don't think the Falcons beat them. Not for the division. Maybe the Falcons beat out maybe if Michael Penix is decent, maybe. They get a wild card over the Cardinals. No, I don't think so. I mean, they've got Christian McCaffrey, who we don't know what he's going to be like this year. Their wide receiver room's terrible. Their defense is okay. And Brock Purdy is what Brock Purdy needs. Like, Jalen Hurts is a winner. Yeah, he's got a great team around him, but he's a winner. I don't know if Brock Purdy's a winner. He doesn't have that great team around him. So I see the 49ers somewhere around 8-9 wins maximum this year. Who even be Lions wide receivers? You got Jameis Williams, and you've got Amon-Ra St. Brown, who's one of the 5 or 6 best wide receivers in football. You got Sam Laporta, a great tight end. They're fine. Addison being suspended for 4 games isn't going to help JJ this year. Fair point. Very fair point as well. St. Brown overrated. What? You're nuts. St. Brown is definitely top 6, I would say, about. You got Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, A.J. Brown. You're top 3. You got CeeDee Lamb and him for 5, I guess. 49ers stink. I don't know if they stink per se, but I don't think they're great. I don't think they're going to win a lot this year. I think this might be the end of the Shanahan-Lynch era this year, in my humble opinion. At least the Shanahan era, which is crazy. But I think that era is going to start creeping to a close there. I wouldn't even attempt to guess. Oh, I attempt it all the time. There are a lot of variables. Injuries happen. The thing is with the Lions had so many injuries last year, and they still won their division. And they still had the number 1 seed. So that tells me that team has some guts and some fight in them. And they've already had a bunch of injuries already this offseason training camp. So I'll be curious to see how they fight through it. I see Jahmyr Gibbs having a massive season this year for the Lions. And that defense is going to be better than it was last year. I think the 49ers super window shut hard and fast. Absolutely agree. And that's why I was on the Trey Hendrickson trade before. Because you just never know when a window is going to close. You've got an opportunity to win. So I'm like, go get the best player available. So, I mean, it's not like I thought it was going to happen, but you just never know when that window is going to shut. Niners have the easiest schedule, but they're still just not a good team, Steven. That's just my opinion. What about the Broncos? I think the Broncos have a damn good chance to win in that division in the AFC. I still think it's the Chiefs to win or lose. They are definitely a playoff team. I'm just spitfiring here. I got the Texans winning their division. That's the only wild card or playoff team there. Both South divisions, NFC and AFC, both suck. So I got Texans, Broncos, Chiefs, Bills, Baltimore, Bengals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll say Bills, Dolphins, Ravens, Bengals, Texans, Broncos, Chiefs. They're your 7 teams in the playoff in the AFC. That's just spitfiring. I'm working this week, and sometime this weekend, I'll have a chart with all my record predictions and my whole playoff predictions. I'll have that out by the end of the week, hopefully. I always put a nice post out with all that stuff. Well, thank you very much. Guys, it's good content, so that's why you hit that like button, that subscribe button, and that share button. 25 votes on the poll question. Yes, tonight is must win for the Phillies, 56%. No, 20%. Who cares? They suck, 24%. And no one voted. They will be champs. Someone needs to tell Dan Campbell that when the players are asked to run through a brick wall, the brick wall is going to win more often than not. It's true. That's true. Dan Campbell and Nick Sirianni are similar as CEO coaches, but they both manage the players and rosters and practices totally different. One's super intense, like, let's fight. The other one's like, let's take jump shots and play paper, rock, scissors. It's interesting. The similarities and differences between Dan Campbell and Nick Sirianni. But yeah. So, yeah, I mean, big Phillies game tonight. Reality checks in the house. What's up, my man? Hope you were well today. Let me know what you think of the Eagles roster. Were you surprised at any of the cuts or the guys that made the roster? Let me know. The other question we're talking about a lot, what will be the first position added to on the 53-man roster? Not the practice squad. Is there going to be somebody? I keep talking about Marcus Epps, bringing him back as a safety. For depth, not to start, as depth. Let me know your thoughts, Reality Check. We got 10 minutes left, so there's still time to get your thoughts into the chat here. As we've been having a great show, lots of likes on. We got to be up to at least 23 likes now. Lots of good stuff on this show today. Would it be frustrating if they get swept? Absolutely, but the only must-win games are in Game 5 or 7 in the playoffs. But you got to think, for confidence, for the mental state of this team, that they got to know they can win at least once in Citi Field. Losing tonight and getting swept, you still got a 4-game lead, and then you're going to go up against the Braves, so you're going to take that series this weekend. But you got to think that they got to get that one win. By the way, the Phillies are 7-7 in the last 14 games. Again, picture of mediocrity. A 500 baseball team, again, in the second half of a season. Again, this season shaping up no different than any other season with this Phillies team, because that is just what the Phillies do. Get out to big leads and just coast for the second half of seasons. But that's that. Yeah, I don't even know where to take that one. Anyway, final 10 minutes. Waiting for Reality Check's comments on the roster. What else? What'll be on? Well, we'll have the practice squad tomorrow. We'll know who we gained and lost tomorrow. Tomorrow's big part of the show will be who practiced today and who didn't. Whether we get information on A.J. Brown and Drew Makuba. And then we'll know whether to worry about A.J. Brown's availability for week 1. Drew Makuba's availability for week 1. No, we'll learn a little bit about Landon Dickerson's availability for week 1. For sure. I know they'll be fine. You've been telling me for pressure is a privilege. That's how you get better. Through the tough times is when you find your toughness. Well, they're facing a tough time right now, Rick. We're going to see. And I would love to see them come out tonight better and play better and win tonight. Show me your toughness tonight. Show me you can be hit in the face and get up for round 3 and still be slinging. Show me that Rocky mentality tonight. I don't know why I said that. I hate Rocky references. Sixers may have a better shot at the Stanley Cup than the NBA chip this year. I don't know about that. Why do we always bring that? Somebody's always got to piss me off by bringing the Sixers in the conversation. Get up, you son of a bitch, because Mickey loves you, right? I ain't hear no bell. Just win, Rocky. Just win. I love Rocky, the movies. I hate that people always use it, though, for referencing the 6 Phillies and stuff. I'm pretty happy with what we got. For everyone we lost, I think we filled our holes as best as possible. And, yeah, I agree. Safety depth would be nice. Howie's got another trade, it feels like. I agree, Reality Check. I agree. Now, obviously, there's lots of free agents now available. Safety is a concern for me. And I brought up the Nakobe Dean. Does he have trade value? He says he's going to be back week 5. But what's his role on this team if he does come back? Do you take does another team take a flyer on Nakobe Dean being healthy? Just a thought process. Someone brought up Kayvon Wallace yesterday. I think I would. So now that's 4 safety names that we're looking at. Marcus Epps, Justin Simmons, Kayvon Wallace, and Jalen Mills. I still think I would take Epps 1, Simmons 2. I would put Kayvon Wallace probably ahead of Jalen Mills. And Kayvon Wallace did okay. His first year out of Philly, I think he went to the Cardinals, and he played pretty well with the Cardinals. And I don't know if he was terrible. He just wasn't great. But depth. We're talking about depth because eventually Reed Blankenship and Drew Makuba, they're your starting safeties. Just Drew Makuba's been hurt so much, he's not going to have the opportunity to play much early in the season. I don't know if he's gained the trust of Vic Fangio, and his hamstring might not be healthy. Because, again, hamstring injuries are tricky. So, yeah, I mean, is Kayvon Wallace my first choice? No. But would I be upset if they brought him back? Absolutely not. Absolutely not be upset about that. Let's see here. Let's peruse through Twitter here and see in the final 5 minutes if anything else changed. Brandon Lee Gouton says, second youngest roster in the NFL the Eagles have by the math. That's good. You gotta love it. The Eagles have the second youngest, and the Phillies have the oldest, which is hilarious. I don't see anything else really interesting changing on Twitter at this moment. Yeah, doesn't look like much is happening on Twitter at this moment. So no news yet, but 2:30's practice. We'll learn a lot about the Phillies roster and practice squad by 2:30 today. Then we'll learn about the actual players by 3:30, 4 o'clock after practice. The Eagles will have a better chance at getting additions to this team through free agency, not the waiver wire. Being 32nd on the waiver wire does make it very difficult for them to get the best available players. Bills signed old man Jordan Poyer. That good, then good content. What? You think the Bills make good content? Because the Bills do not create good content. The Bills don't create winning football teams. You know, the Bills stink. Oh. Got the kickback on the coffee there. You know, you take a sip, you pull the cup back, it splashes up in your face. It's always good. I'll just flash that up on the screen. No comment on that, okay? No comment on that at all. Look, there's going to be a lot of wheeling and dealing and moving pieces in the next 24 to 48 hours for the Eagles. It's going to be hard to go back-to-back. It is for anyone, but I feel this team is young but mature enough to overcome the odds. They are definitely going to put the best possible team out there to go back-to-back. Will they? Time will tell. There's a lot of variables that can happen, but I am very, very confident at the least they will be back in the Super Bowl. I really feel like I'm leaning towards an Eagles-Ravens Super Bowl at this point. Really feel that that's the way it's going to go. I-95 Super Bowl. Be best for business for me. We will see, though. Yeah, we will see. We will see what happens. Today has been a good day. Today's been a very, very good show, I think. I feel really confident on how the conversation went today. I feel really confident on how it all played out today. I think this was a fun day today. It means we got to have another fun day tomorrow. Ravens stink, bro. I don't know about that. You're just jealous because I didn't pick the Bills against the Eagles. I picked the Bills versus the Eagles in 2022, I believe, is the Super Bowl. I think that was the year I picked the Bills versus the Eagles. I don't know. I don't know if I have faith in the Bills getting to the Super Bowl. It's going to be a PA Super Bowl, Pittsburgh versus Philly. Wow. You think Pittsburgh? You think Pittsburgh is going to the Super Bowl? I don't know about that. I hope not. I will root against that as hard as I can because that would mean Aaron Rodgers playing the Super Bowl, and I can't stand Aaron Rodgers. Every day is a good day. Waking up, absolutely. It's a beautiful day. It's a what do you forgot your word of the day. The Sesame Street word of the day, glorious day. Okay? Every day is a glorious day. Okay? Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yes. Now on to 700, then 1,000, then 10,000, then 1,000,000. Onward and upward, guys. Any interest in Saturdays? No. I don't watch college football. I don't get into college football. Maybe by the playoffs, but no. I'm not really a college football guy. That's why I said every year till it happens, got to finish the sentence. Gotcha. I did not read the rest of that sentence. My bad. My apologies. T for Temple U. I don't think anybody gets excited for Temple football. I didn't even know that. Reality check needs a reality check. Yeah. Dude, I just can't stand Aaron Rodgers, so that's really what it comes down to. My distaste for Aaron Rodgers I can't help myself. Can't help myself. The notebook's closed. Do I have a sip of coffee left? I do actually have 2 sips left. Yeah, how about that? 2 sips of coffee left. Anyway, guys. Tomorrow, we'll be recapping tonight's Phillies game. Hopefully it's a win. Don't know if it will be, but hopefully it is. And we will be talking about all the moves that happened today, practice squad and whatnot. It's hard. This right here is a comment 249 of the day. It's very hard for me to read every comment in full. Keep my thought process going. I try. 90 minutes, 249 comments. How many comments a minute do I have to read? Do that out. 90 minutes, that's like 2.5 comments a minute, plus respond to them. I do miss words. I do miss a couple comments here and there. K1 gets his panties in a twist when I miss one of his. And same thing with TMZ, a.k.a. Tough Guy. They get all upset when I miss a comment of theirs. Rick does too. I need some water. I used to keep a bottle of water here too, along with my coffee, but, I'm really all about my coffee in the morning. It's 9 a.m. Math doesn't start till noon. True. That's very true. Thank you very much, Stephen. I feel like this has been a very good show. He does. He wears them. Absolutely does. Oh, boy, guys. All right, it's time to wrap it up. Tomorrow, Phillies recap of Game 3 versus the Mets tonight. Tomorrow, Eagles roster and practice updates. Who knows where the conversation will go? Maybe we'll talk Tay-Tay and Travis getting engaged a little bit more tomorrow. That's all good. You're here for 12 minutes. 12 minutes is better than 0 minutes, right? Just as long as you hit that like button and you've already subscribed, I know that. And tell some friends to subscribe to the channel. Go out there, reality check. Tell everyone to find this show. Nothing's better than this. You put that out there is what needed to be checked, but it could happen in some predicted algorithm. It could. Absolutely. Anyway, guys, let's wrap this baby up. Time to get to work. Time to make the dough. See you guys tomorrow. Go Birds. Bubbles up.